Thank you for joining us and our guest, Tim Fahndrich, on The Experience Local, live with Russ and Scott.
Hello, and welcome to The Experience Local with Russ and Scott. Each week, they bring you conversations with local Christian businesses and business owners. Join in every Monday live at 9 a.m. Pacific on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. The Experience Local is brought to you each week by wonderful sponsors.
Guild Mortgage. Contact Buddy Puckett at 503-851-8031. NMLS number 270057. Independent Merchant Brokers. Low-cost and no-cost debit and credit card processing. 877-460-4747. IndependentMerchantBrokers.com. Father's Day is coming. Boson Hub Digital Development reminds you. Father's Day Firehouse Fun at Powerland Heritage Park. Learn more, OregonFireMuseum.org. Adams Rib Smokehouse, 1210 State Street, Salem, Oregon, 503-362-2194. AdamsRibSmokehouse.com. The Jim Coolman Insurance Agency, serving the Mid-Valley since 2003. JimCoolman.com.
And now, your hosts for The Experience Local, Russ and Scott.
Hey, Russ.
Hey, here we are. Hello, Scott. Welcome to The Experience Local, live with Russ and Scott. We're glad that you've all joined us today. And Scott, always such a blessing to be with you. How are you doing, my friend?
It's just fun. It's always great. I'm glad we get this new show, The Experience Local. You know, it's episode 14, and I get to hang out with Russ. So this is the 14th time I get to hang out with you just on this show alone.
Just on this show alone. It's so amazing. So just so thankful. You know, I mean, you and I have really been able to focus on connecting and building community locally. And, you know, this show focusing on believers in business, you know, it's so wonderful to find people like-minded that love God, that love their local community, that love business. And we're so just blessed to have my good friend, Tim Fahndrich, on with us today. He'll be here in just a moment, but he is such an amazing guy in the community. Loves God, loves people, and that's why we get along so good.
Absolutely. And this show, of course, is on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook every week, so people can watch there and they can watch the replays. Russ, how do we find all of those live streams and the replays?
Oh my goodness, there's so many amazing opportunities. But you know, my good friend D. Scott Smith created local.theexperience.video. That's all you got to put in, folks. And it goes straight to our information, not only about this show, but also about information about Scott and I, other shows. If you want to go directly to our YouTube page, you can just put in the experience.video. That'll just take you directly to our YouTube page. We would love for you to just go there today and subscribe and see all the amazing people that Scott and I are blessed to be friends with, both on the Experience Local and on the Experience Live with Russ and Scott. And we just are so thankful for those people. So today I want to encourage you that, but I'll give that local.theexperience.video. That pretty much does it all for you. So that's really probably the place to start. And yeah, I'm just so thankful for that.
Well, I know we've got people commenting already. So let's bring Tim in and get to the good part of the show.
Yeah, you know, I can't say enough good things about Tim. He and I have actually been reconnected. It's not that we were ever totally disconnected, but it had been some time. We've reconnected, and what a blessing he is. So I want to bring him in right now, Mr. Tim Fahndrich. How you doing, Tim?
Good morning. How are you? I'm good.
Good. Well, you know what? Again, that big smile tells it all. You know what? I mean, I love people that love life and even fight through challenges. I don't know if you want to talk about any of that today, but I'm just going to say right now
Certainly
that
can.
We all have some challenges, and you've had a recent challenge, and being able to fight through that and continue to connect and build community and just bless people. So amazing. But let's just start off with the basics, Tim. Who is Tim Fahndrich, and what are you up to?
Yeah, so I've been married for 31 years. So I'm a husband, I'm a father of two. And in a previous life, I coached soccer at now Western Christian School. But I was the head boys soccer coach for 7 years, so that was a lot of fun. But really, it's just all about I like to think that I'm a relationship builder and love to build community in our local area, as well as now across the country.
Yeah.
So with
Yeah.
that, give us an idea of this business that you're in. And I love that you're branded. So people that are just listening to the audio, you have got branding right there on your shirt. So tell us what we're looking at and what does it mean?
Yeah, so We're Local is really a local media company that focuses in three areas. We publish a digital magazine, we publish a business directory, like think the old Yellow Pages type thing, and then we also provide and publish reviews. So we're an alternative, positive local alternative to review sites like Yelp. And so that combined is kind of what We're Local is. And we focus in the Salem area, and we're now also expanding across the country with like-minded, kingdom-minded, impact-minded entrepreneurs who want to start a business and duplicate what we've been able to do locally.
See, and I love that. Okay. That's one thing this show is all about, Tim. And that is, everybody across the country and across the world thinking about how to focus in on their local community and not lose sight of that in this global community that we have nowadays, especially like-minded Christ followers that are wanting to be able to work together and do life together. And, this one thing that I think a lot of people at times struggle with a little bit is integrating those two things. So I still want to talk a little bit about your challenge you had recently, but talk a little bit more first about how you integrate your faith in your family and all that you do.
Yeah, I mean, I think the opportunity is to build relationships in a way that we don't have to go out there and preach on the sidewalk per se, but we can make an impact by just living our life and be able to build relationships locally, and then that leads to conversations, and that leads to just different things. So I think it's really the opportunity. Like I'm not out there preaching. I'm not a preacher, but I can definitely. We view business as mission, so it's an opportunity. We've always said we wanted to be a light in the marketplace. And so if we can be that positive light in the marketplace and point our way or point people towards Jesus, then that's mission accomplished.
And Scott, before you jump in, I wanted
Go
to say
ahead,
one
Russ.
thing on that, and that is what I mean. Perfectly said, Tim. Mic drop. You need to live your faith, right? Your actions do the preaching for you in so many things. It doesn't mean there doesn't come a time to speak to people and have something to say, but it's what you're doing in your actions. Scott, take it away. I'm sorry. I just want to get that in.
Just remind everybody today on the Experience Local, Tim Fahndrich, and it's worldlocal.io, WHIRLOCAL.io. You can find the business there. Tim, I love that you coach the students, the kids, the children, protecting our future, investing into them. And let's just talk about how you personally in your business are involved in the community.
We're involved in so many ways. I mean, the reality is that small businesses in our community need our support more than ever. The problem is that big box and corporate America are constantly trying to squeeze out the little guy. And the other reality is that big tech and corporate media are literally, sucking billions of dollars out of our local communities. And we believe our community deserves better. And so that's where at We're Local, we're not big tech, we're not corporate America. We are small tech. We provide a community-based website, digital magazine, business directory, and free marketing tools that basically allow local businesses to grow. And again, our goal is to be a light in the marketplace and to make an impact in our local community, because let's face it, again, small businesses are not only the backbone of our economy, they are our economy. And so, in our mind, and they need and deserve our support more than ever.
Yeah, no, that is so true. I mean, they are the backbone of our economy. And it's interesting to me how easily we look over some of the most simple things in life. I'm all about keeping it simple. And a lot of times when it comes to our faith and how we support people and how we look at our community, those things really are very simple. And I think I love the phrases that I always use. We rise together and we are better together, because when we come together as individuals that love God and love our community, there's so much possible, so much possible. And in the midst of all that, so often we have bumps in the road and we have challenges. And I know that you recently had one of those bumps in the road. If you would, Tim, just tell us a little bit about what happened.
Yeah, so I had a little bump. Just over 3 months ago, I had a stroke, and I woke up in the middle of the night and immediately knew something was wrong. And just long story short, my wife knew what to look for. We got 911 called right away and got to the hospital, and here I am. So grateful, beyond grateful and fortunate, that it was a very minor stroke, but I still had a stroke. So that took, a couple of months to kind of really work through, mostly I didn't have a lot of physical deficits, but mostly on the mental side, like mental acuity and just the ability to keep up. But like in a conversation like this right here, I couldn't keep up. And process as fast as I used to be able to. So that took a couple months and working through the fatigue and everything, but grateful that I'm still here and grateful that I'm able to really at this point, I feel like I'm back to normal. So,
And
whatever normal
we're
means.
grateful. We're grateful. Tim, today's guest, Tim Fahndrich of worldlocal.io. Tim, we are grateful you're here. Not as grateful as your family is. I know that this was a big shock. I'm glad that things are working out. And as we're talking about World Local, so your company, this name, tell me about how you arrived at this name. And because other businesses are out there, they're thinking, I need to name my business, and they're just, I'll say, stumped. It is a hard thing to do, but I believe you've come up with one pretty good.
Yeah, so it's a fun story. So we actually developed the brand over 10 years ago, and my wife was my wife was looking at some options, and we liked to say we build buzz for local businesses. And so she started looking. She likes like Word Hippo and the sort, different tools. And so she started looking at what's an alternative or a synonym for buzz. And she came across this WHIR, and that's a synonym for buzz, and then of course put together with local. So we're local. It just worked, right? So that was the origin story. But of course, it's also a play on we're local. We're local and proud of it. So when people want to know how to say it, well, how do you say we are combined? We're local and proud. We like to say we're local and proud of it. So that's our origin story. I'm sticking to it.
Well, it is so important how we portray ourselves in the community, whether it's a name or whatever it is. But I want to go back to just say what a blessing you are to come through the challenges you've come through, to keep moving forward. And you're blessed by God to be able to do that. Probably still working on your energy as a person who's gone through a few challenges myself. I understand that. Still working on energy, but it doesn't mean we have to stop, right? Every little step forward makes a difference to our community, to those around us. What would you say to encourage people? You don't understand, Tim and Scott and Russ, what I'm going through. Well, first of all, I would say you're right. We don't understand what you're going through, but we can tell you by going through challenges what we do know. But say to people that are saying, I got too many challenges, too much in life, it's just frozen me. I just can't move forward. How would you encourage them today?
Yeah, well, maybe backing up just a sec. So one of the things that I'm also really grateful for, that during that process, like when I was actually having the stroke, my wife Pam, neither of us had a spirit of fear, and just being really transparent. That's something that I've struggled a lot with is just fear. But through that process, neither of us had it, and we just felt like God had us. God had me, and I think working through some of the challenges after the fact of the mental, the fatigue, the mental acuity, being able to keep up, and and one of the challenges was, well, Tim, you look normal, you look great, right? But then the backdrop of that was my mind screaming because I can't keep up with your conversation, and so I wasn't okay. But one of the things that I had a great conversation with another believer, friend, who went through a very similar situation 6 years ago, and he noticed, like, I posted on Facebook, and he said, let's talk. And everything he said was it was just spot on in terms of what I may experience. Like, I experienced all of it, the fatigue, the mental, the brain fog is what he called it, and it was just so spot on. But I decided through that conversation to be very transparent on my Facebook posts, to let people know what what I was dealing with, not looking for sympathy or anything, but just to be, how can I make an impact, and how can I, potentially bless somebody down the road that is going through the same thing, so that they know what to prepare for. And so just that transparency and believing that, God is going to take care of us, and it's not always easy. Certainly, as we know, right, walking the Christian, the Christian walk is not a bed of roses. It's not it's tough sometimes. And when you have challenges and setbacks, it can make things interesting. But just the encouragement would be to, just continue to rely on the Lord and have faith, and not faith over fear, and continue to work through that. I work through that every day.
I like that.
Faith over fear.
We'll say that'll make a good hashtag, faith over fear. Today's guest here on the Experience Local, Tim Fahndrich, worldlocal.io. I love that whir. That is a good synonym for buzz, and just a part of that contraction. We are local. So let's talk about the expansion thoughts for the business. What are the opportunities that someone, let's say someone was in Texas and they wanted to take advantage of this? What would they do?
Yeah. So, and just again, a quick origin story. Like a year and a half, or a little over, about 2 years ago, actually, my wife and I were kind of coming back from a marriage retreat, and we were coming back from the coast here in Oregon, and we started thinking about, like, what would it look like to connect with kingdom-minded people that want to make an impact in their local business, in their local community, but also to be able to kind of duplicate what my wife and I have been able to do locally. And that led to a series of conversations and a partnership and different things that allowed us to put together a license model. And so basically, we're now licensing We're Local to people in other communities. And it's a brand and technology license, so they get to leverage the technology platform that we built and the brand itself, the We're Local brand, in their community. And they get to be the media. And they get to be, again, we publish a digital magazine, we publish a business directory, and a local alternative to review sites like Yelp. So they get to do things like interview local businesses, much like you're doing here, but we do more written interviews. It's more like a magazine style, and really be that local media, so they can lead with value, and they can build rapport and relationship, and then make an impact. And then, of course, they have a business opportunity attached to that, to work with local businesses, to help them grow, to help them get more reviews, and to help them promote their business.
Well, you know what I love about that? You mentioned the word value. So this every Monday and Thursday on one of my live streams, Marketing with Russ, aka #RussSelfie, at 8 a.m. Pacific on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. Shameless plug. There you go. I always give a marketing tip of the day. And the marketing tip of the day today, which also was cut out and put out on YouTube and social media, is about giving value. I think that if we live by the golden rule, do unto others as we want them to do unto us, we need to be giving like God showed us the things that we need to do. And within that, give value, give them a little bit of help with their business and what they're trying to do. That attracts people that then want to work with you, people that then want to do life with you. And it helps you build that know, like, and trust factor, which is not just a sales thing, everybody. That is a life thing.
Absolutely.
People want to live life with people they know, love, and trust, right? That's what it's all about. So, I think that is so important. So in giving value, you guys, what are you thinking about as far as, continue to expand? I mean, you're talking about great stuff, Tim. I'm already blown away by all that you guys are doing, but what do you want to keep doing as you grow? What are more ways to add value that you're thinking about without giving away the secrets?
Yeah, no, one of the things that we just introduced, we've provided lots of ways, free business profiles, free publishing tools, a lot like big tech, but not big tech, so we provide all that, but we just launched what we call a free review engine. And it literally helps somebody, a local business, reviews make a big impact on purchasing decisions as consumers look up local businesses. I don't know if you knew this or not, but 50% of consumers trust online reviews as much as a personal recommendation. And so reviews are huge. And so we just launched the ability or what we call free review engines for pretty much every local business or nonprofit. And that's another way that we can bring value and help a local business get reviews on Google and or on We're Local. It makes it super easy to be able to pull it up on your phone, ask somebody for a review, use a QR code, and more. So
today's guest, Tim Fahndrich, here on the Experience Local. Tim, reviews, absolutely. I'm traveling. We're looking for restaurants. I'm online. I'm reading the reviews, and three reviews. I think, don't you have more family members than that, more friends than that?
Yeah.
But you got something that's got dozens or hundreds of reviews, then that 4.5 stars means something. But also looking at those negative reviews, and I've worked with a lot of businesses that have, I will say, fake bad reviews. But with the big guys, Yelp, Google, those other players out there, there's nothing those businesses can do. How would that work if, say, the Experience Local got a review and it was some complete bogus thing? What can we do?
Yeah,
or how do we address those?
Yeah, first of all, people are looking for recent, relevant, and real, not fake, real reviews, right? So, as a review site, we have to follow certain transparency and so forth to be trusted. So it's not like we allow people to manipulate their score or anything like that. But we do have a flagging process, and we do actually care. Unlike Yelp, that actually filters a lot of good reviews and kind of puts those to the side. We actually care for the local business. We have a flagging process, and again, we do try to be very transparent. The good news is that if you're following a recommended practice of getting reviews on a regular basis, then people will be able to see through the fake reviews or and again, we can flag negative reviews. It just we have to have a process to remove them as well, just like any other site, to build that trust.
Right. Well, it's interesting because as we're slowly winding up the show for today, I want to say that reviews are so important because, again, people that build their business on integrity and on Christ-like actions and values are looking for people that are looking for that, right? And to me, reviews are so important from the right source. And I know that every time we're going to stay somewhere, my wife is online checking out all the reviews. She is checking out what everybody says about that. And you can be pretty sure that if the majority of the reviews are saying one thing, it's pretty accurate, right? I mean, if you're going to have some outliers, you're going to have some people that hate everything, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you're doing. I put up something on YouTube and there's a couple people that dislike everything I put up there. And I'm like, thank you. At least you're engaging and taking action, right? But that's their job, is just to dislike everything. But, you know, I think that it's so important. And when you go to a community like you on We're Local, then people know kind of the background of what they're trying to do. So anyway, with that all said, I want you to give us your gold nugget of today's conversation, what you really want people to remember, and then let everybody know how they get in touch with you today. And tell us that out so the people on radio can hear that. Yeah,
absolutely. So, I mean, I would say just in terms of like, if you're promoting your small business and you really want to make it a low cost or no cost, investment into growing your business, then you think about word of mouth, and that's often the most valued source of new business. But what do people do? They Google you. When somebody refers you, they Google you, and they're going to look at your website. They're going to look at your reviews. They're going to look at your social media, and they're looking at recent, relevant, and real reviews. So just the golden nugget today would be to hone in on and focus on making sure you're getting a steady stream of online reviews so you can build that social proof and that trust.
That is so great. And people get in touch with you how?
Oh, yep. Sorry. So you can email me, tim@werelocal.io. And the website is werelocal.io. That's WHIR local.io.
Right on. And, you know, I want you to say that one more time, because I know we got a couple things up there that are slightly different. I'm going to put up what I have, and you're going to say it one more time, so I make sure we get this right.
I mean, they can get to me that way, but the website is werelocal, WHIR local.io. And you can email me at tim@werelocal.io.
Perfect. We'll get that adjusted and get that up there. And well, I tell you, we appreciate you so much, Tim. What a blessing, just what a blessing you are to me. And I know, yours and Scott's short friendship of now, a half hour. I'm sure that, he's feeling the same. But no, I appreciate you being on today, sharing that value today, because that's so important. And definitely going to talk to you soon. But in the short run, we're going to say goodbye, send you out, hang tight in the green room, because I want to talk to you for a minute afterwards. But thanks for being a blessing today.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tim. What a great business idea.
Oh, my goodness. I tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. I mean, it is something that I am really going to start investing time in because I think it's so important. And, we have time for what we make time for. That's what I'm telling myself today, so that I make time for this important stuff that Tim's doing, because I really mean with all my heart that I really want to support him, and I want to be involved in that more. I would love to be one of their written interviews, and I would love to, be more part of that. I'm just throwing that out there because Tim's still listening. But anyway, let's see, what else am I thinking about? But anyway, I'm just so thankful.
Well, Russ, I'm sure there's a great way to go to werelocal.io and leave a review. You can probably leave a review right there. And
Absolutely.
These are so important. People do trust that. People trust that. There's a reason why Facebook and Google and Yelp and these other sites are out there doing reviews, because they know people count on those. They put faith in those, even though they don't know who those people are.
That's right.
But if you say, again, just a few reviews, but you got dozens or hundreds of reviews, then we can have confidence that that business is going to do what they say they do.
Right. And it's so important when people know Tim in the local community too, it spreads. And, when you trust God, people are looking to that. And I think that's so critical. So I just want to thank everybody for being here today. Again, don't forget to go to localtheexperience.video to find out more about Scott and I. And you go straight to our YouTube page at theexperience.video. We would love to have you join us there and be part of that. And until we see you again, Scott, any last words here?
Just enjoy the experience.
There you go. Love it, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Thank you for tuning in to The Experience Local with Russ and Scott. Listen to the program on Spotify or wherever you listen to fine podcasts. Join in every Monday live at 9 a.m. Pacific on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. We look forward to seeing you next time on The Experience Local with Russ and Scott.